Hi, I'm Yvonne Cuter, and this is Cuter Inky Chicks Online. Here's a happy shout out to my subscribers and regular viewers. Thanks for tuning in today. And a hearty hello to those who are new to my channel. I hope you enjoy today's video. We are going to do something called Use It or Lose It today. We're going to make a very interesting card where you cut a section off of your main card base. And then in order not to lose that somewhere on your desk or in your stash of goodies, we're going to attach it back on to the card base. And I'll show you how to do that. The details for all the products discussed today, links to this month's inspirational video, and my contact information can all be found in the description box below. Please contact me or leave me a comment if you have any questions. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we took a half a sheet of basic white cardstock and cut it in half so that you get 4 1/4 by 11. We will fold that in half to make our card base. I recommend when you're making this project that you do not use the thick basic white because this project has a very narrow score line on it, and I found that didn't work very well when using the thick cardstock. So I just have regular basic white. The first thing that we are going to do, you'll see now we have the card base here. We're going to cut a piece off of this card base starting in the lower left-hand corner and going up to the score and fold line there at that top. Lower left to upper right. All right. You want to make sure that the corners for this are in the grooves on your paper trimmer. And there you go. Now we have a piece that we can either use or lose. So I'm going to show you how to use it. We also are going to use a piece of designer series paper, and I wanted to prepare that for you at this point so I can put my paper trimmer away. Now this is from Hello Irresistible Online Exclusives paper, and what I've done is cut that down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and you can see that here on my paper trimmer. Hold on just one moment, please. You can see 5 by 3 3/4, and I want to do this correctly, so I'm just checking my instructions really quickly. It says we want to cut this from the top left to the bottom right, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it in the grooves of the paper trimmer here, the corners, and top left to bottom right, and you will get these pieces that we are going to use today. All right, we're going to set those aside for now. We don't need them just yet. I'm going to put my paper trimmer away, and we'll get back to, I'm sorry, I needed one more thing for you. I wanted to show you where to score this piece that we are going to add back onto our card base. Now the fun thing about this card, as you'll see at the end when I show you my other examples, is that it doesn't matter whether you want to put it here to make a card that folds this way and this way, or if you want to put it down here, have it fold up. You can do all sorts of things. If you cut it wrong, believe me, you can find a way to fix it. But for now, since I want to have mine come from the top and fold this way, so you'll get a card base that looks like this, I've decided to score this long edge of the right triangle. And you're supposed to score that at 1/8 inch. I have found, yeah, I think we can do 1/8 inch today. We will do the thing that we like to do, which is score with our paper trimmer. And then I will use my bone folder to fold that. Now, since I want it to come down this way, I'm going to follow this score line right here. You might want to do it with your fingers a little bit first, just to make sure that it's working. There we go. And then use your bone folder to crease that a little more sharply. Ooh. Don't worry. Now, in the inspirational video that I watched to learn how to do this, Colleen, who is the lady who showed the video, she says to put your multi-purpose liquid glue along the inside of this score line, right along in here. What I found was that really didn't work very well for me, so what I like to do is turn the cardstock card base over and then just put a very thin line of liquid glue right along that top edge. It doesn't have to be very much. And then you'll notice that I'm also using my silicone craft sheet here because this can get messy. So if you have some way to protect your work surface, I highly recommend it. So now you'll see I'm going to let that dry just for a little bit. And again, I'll check and make sure that I've got this coming in here correctly. And to do that, I like to just turn it all over together, pull this out, and know that I have to put it on here like this. And you'll see that worked out pretty well. So now, when you get ready to make the rest of your card base, all you have to do is make sure that I like to turn this over now to the front, press down on that to just make sure that liquid adhesive is working very well and it's drying correctly. And again, the silicone craft sheet is a lifesaver here. And there, we have made our card base. And you might have just a little bit sticking out here and there. Just grab your paper snips, trim those off. And now is when we when we go on to the next step, which is where we're going to put our designer series paper on here. And you have to kind of work it around, make sure you have the right piece in the right place so everything is right side up. Now what you'll do is you'll take your multi-purpose liquid glue, add a little bit to the back of the designer paper. Again, I'm using my silicone craft sheet just in case. The nice thing about using the multi-purpose liquid glue is that you have just a few seconds here to kind of move your piece around if you put it onto your card base or your other cardstock in a place where you don't want it to be. You'll notice this one needed just a little bit of help to get to the correct position. Now we're going to do this one. This one looks like it got a little bit crooked on here, so I'm going to use my paper snips just to cut a little bit off of there so that the card closes correctly. And always remember, I don't think there's ever been a perfect card in the history of card making. So if yours is a little off, I say don't worry about it. The person who is going to receive your card will never know that you didn't make the card exactly the same as the person who gave you the inspiration. Now for this one, we're going to use the back piece of that designer series paper. So I will be putting my liquid glue on the front. Just bear with me for a moment here while I take care of that. I hate to cover up this piece because this side is my favorite. If you want to leave me a comment below and tell me what you do when you have to use the back side of your designer paper, but you really, really want to use the front because that's the one you like the most. I just sort of grin and bear it. I tell myself, you know, they can still see part of that paper because of the design of this card. You can see both sides of the designer series paper. So there we go. That got a little bit gummy, but I have an adhesive eraser that I will go to town with later. Now, you can do two things here. You can stamp your sentiment right here, put a few embellishments here, and you're done. Or you can build up blooms. You'll notice that, or if you have that bundle, I should say, the dies will cut out flowers from some of the pieces that are on that are in some of the designer series pieces that are in the bundle. So you can layer them up like this, kind of get a fun little collection of them. I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I like the yellow or the pink. Maybe I'll go like this. And then I will have my sentiment, which I have stamped from the Irresistible Blooms using Pretty Peacock ink. I'm so happy that Pretty Peacock is back. Let me apologize pretty quickly here. I keep calling this Irresistible Blooms, but the actual name for this product suite is called Hello Irresistible. And you can find this online through my store. I have the link down below. And here's some Pretty Peacock cardstock to act as the mat for my Hello Irresistible, or my, yes, the Hello from the Hello Irresistible. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue here. I cut both of these pieces using, I'll show that to you real quickly, the double oval punch, which cuts both the sentiment piece and the mat for that. Okay, that had a little bit of time to dry, so we will put that right on our mat. And that'll help it stand out a little bit when it's on the card with all of this pink and yellow. I think I may put my flowers here. Now the flowers are cut from the designer series paper using the Hello Irresistible dies that come with the product suite. So I'm going to start with the back, put a little bit of glue on this flower, making sure that I don't put so much glue on there that you glue your card shut. Has anybody ever glued their card shut? I know I have once or twice when I was trying to be fancy, and I was not a happy camper, I'll tell you. All right, that's looking good. And then we're going to fold it so you can see the front again. And I think we'll put this pink flower down here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. It's kind of fun to do these things on the fly with you. I had not planned this card out. It's just sort of a pop on here and get this video made because it's been a little bit since I've made a video for you. And this is also for my downline and my upline who join me for my Zoom classes every month. And we experiment together and try to figure out how to make cards using different techniques. I invite you to join my team so you could experiment with us. But you will definitely enjoy these online exclusives. I'm very pleased with them. All right, so here we see, again, we'll put a little bit of glue just sort of horizontally on here. And add that to the front so that it kind of overlaps our other ones. There, I think that looks pretty good. And yay, I didn't get any glue on the back, so I glued my card shut. I know you're happy because I'm happy, right? All right, we are going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to put our greeting on. You don't need too many of them for this card, so I'm just going to put a couple on there. Peel off the backing. Try to figure out where I want to put this so that it's not covering up all of my designer series paper. I think it will go here. Look, I think I even got it straight. So that's good. I've got just a few more little things to show you. One of the things you could get online is the loose frosted dots. I don't know if they're still available, but you can check by going to my online store. If you see these there with no notes underneath them in red, then you will know that you can buy these right now. But if you don't see them, you'll know they're sold out and they're not going to restock. If you see them with a little note that says not currently available or something like that, it means that they are going to restock. Just keep checking back until you find the item that you're looking for. Now, these are not self-adhesive, so you could easily use these in a shaker card. I think that's pretty cool. But you can also take your liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on these flower centers and pick up these lovely little dots and add them to my card. You'll see there's a pink in here and a yellow, and there's even one here that's pretty peacock, which is very exciting. All right, let's see if we can get these on without making a big mess everywhere. I think I'll put this peacock one up here to offset the peacock that you see in the sentiment. And then the pink one, the pink center. Ah, my fingernails are not wanting to help me today. Here we go. All right, the pink one I'm going to put on the yellow flower. And the yellow I'm going to put on the pink flower. So there we go. And then, depending on what you want to put on the inside, you would come here, stamp your sentiment. If you want to put happy birthday, thinking of you, something like that. And then you have a little space here for your handwritten message or your signature, to, from, whatever you like. So there you go. It's just that easy, but not always. So I will show you when our team got together the other day for doing these together. It seems like we all were having mojo issues, stamping mojo issues, where we, even though we had done this successfully on our own before the class started, we were all having issues getting this flap to go on here the right way. So I will share with you some of the things that we did wrong, some of the things I did wrong, and show you that even though these cards did not turn out the way that Colleen told you to make them, they still turned out lovely. Here's one that I actually did that was pretty good. You'll see that you can that you can open the left and open the right. But then you'll notice that it is all kind of held together with hopes and wishes and a little bit of washi tape. But you know what? I think somebody is going to like this card. I will let you know in a future video who that someone is. Someone with a knowledge of card making and the experience that things don't always go the way you want them to go. Here's one I made using an old retired designer series paper. This one turned out pretty well. It's just the back is a little not glued on there, so I will take some, either re-glue that with a little liquid glue, or maybe just go that lazy way and put some washi tape on there, because that seems to be fine. All right, here's another one I tried to make. Oh wait, I think this is the one that I just showed you. It is, I'm sorry. Let's go back. Oh, here we go. Here's one that I really like, using an older designer paper. But here, if you take a look, you'll see that I used one of the new in colors. This is Moody Mauve. And I thought, you know, I think that'll go with these other colors, even though they're not designed to go that way. And I like it. So you do that, you put written greetings here, and you're all set. Then I have this one. I dug into my stash and got my Emerald Envy ink because I felt that was the right color to go with all of the green in here. I'm sorry, this is retired also. My daughter really liked all the little critters on here when she was here the other day looking at my cards. So some of these that I made as practice cards turned out pretty well. Here's one where I did a bunch of birthday love to you using the tulips, the field of tulips we had a year or two ago. Now I haven't put any die cuts or punched out pieces on here yet, but I know that I would like to make one of those tulips that we had the dies for, and I'll put that on there. Here's one that's all black and white, shades of gray. Sending caring thoughts. That's from the Bamboo Beauty, which retired. But watch how I open this now, and you'll see that this one did not turn out the right way. Left and bottom. Don't ask me how I ended up with that, but I did. And again, here's one where I went to stamp the sentiment from the Bamboo Beauty, and it came out crooked. So what I did was just grabbed my double oval punch, stamped this on a piece of scrap paper and just glued it in there. But again, here's one where you'll see, now these can fold either way, as you'll notice here. But if you do it that way, then this one's just a little bit too wide here. I'd have to trim it down. So there you go. That's called the use it or lose it technique. Before we go away completely, I just wanted to show you the new catalog real quickly. This started on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023, and it goes for a whole year. It is filled with fabulous fun things. I've been going through here and picking out my favorites, and I've made my pre-order, so I have some of these things on hand. Guess what happened this morning? I had a dream just before I woke up that I was teaching a stamping class, and people were there, and they were having a fun time. They were making cards. I don't generally dream dreams like that, but it was assigned to me that I should put the invitation out there. If you're watching this in May of 2023 and you live in the Chippewa Valley area of Wisconsin, I invite you to host a get-together where I can show you and your friends some of the new colors, some of the new stamps, some new techniques. I would love to do that. So just contact me and we can set up a date for that. It also reminded me that hosts who are kind enough to invite me into their homes, or we could get together at a local bookstore. I will tell you about that if you want to contact me. We've had success having our get-togethers at a local store where people go to drink coffee and read books, let's put it that way. You could get some of this stuff for free. And wouldn't that be awesome? You have fun, your friends have fun, everybody has a great time and makes a pretty card. I invite you to join me. Well, that's it for today, ladies. I want to thank everyone, or I shouldn't say ladies, that's very gender biased. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Happy crafting.